What's up? Welcome back to the channel. It is actually Friday morning, the day this video is releasing in a couple hours. We've been really busy in the shop, and I kind of fell behind and did not get a chance to film our one-take kind of update vlog style video. So here we are in the shop. This week we had a lot of LS builds coming through the shop and a couple big Ford engine builds getting wrapped up and finished. Here's a sneak peek of an upcoming build series that's going to start after our 8,000 RPM small block Ford. This is an all-aluminum aftermarket RHS block, 1,500 horsepower capable 427 LS3. It's running our 11-degree heads, our Gatorman lifter pack, center counterweighted crank, billet I-beam rods, ultra pistons. They're freaking sweet. This motor's going to get a Kong 2650 and make all of the boost. Here is the overdrive pulley for the blower on the balancer. So right now we're just waiting on some custom Smith Brothers push rods to come in, and then we can wrap that motor up and get it on the dyno. This is that 441 cubic inch engine getting wrapped up. It's just waiting on EFI system now, and then we can run it on our dyno. This motor should make about 680 horsepower on pump gas and about 650 foot-pounds of torque. Same deal, Gatorman lifter, Smeding 11-degree heads. Really nice combo. These two engines are going to our good friends at Muscle Rod Shop. Some of you guys may be familiar with them. They have a pretty successful, pretty large YouTube channel. We'll start with this one. This is a brand new 100% brand new 416 LS3. It's got our 11-degree cast port heads, decent sized cam, and it's going to get either this manifold or the low profile version. I can't quite remember. And then this is one of our rebuilder packages. So this customer of theirs already had a good all aluminum 6.2 liter core, and he wanted to basically give it some upgrades and give it some more power. So it came in, we converted it again to our fully forged 416 deal. We're just going to reuse his factory heads though. He's not looking to make a ton of power, but just wants a nice driver with a lot of torque. These two 406s are still waiting on their polished intake manifolds. One of them is getting a 2x4 kit, the other one's just getting a standard single plane. We've got a pretty simple, nice little 383 Extreme waiting to go out the door. I think it's just waiting for us to put the valve covers on and some flex plate bolts to come in, and it will leave. Head gasket should be here any day for this guy. Coming around the corner, here's a 383 hot rod, just waiting on a Holley EFI stealth system to come in, and then it can go in the dyno and leave. Here's a pretty nice power adder long block that we offer. This one's going to run a Pro Charger. So he optioned for the ATI billet big block hub timing cover, as well as a dual keywayed ATI balancer to give it extra strength and rigidity to drive the blower. It's got Kinetic head gaskets, H-beam rods, ARP head fasteners, 9-to-1 forged pistons. So that motor should be capable of about 650, maybe 700 horsepower, depending on what kind of intercooler system and what kind of fuel he's going to run. Here's an 8-stack Ford that's going to go on the dyno later today. This is one of our 600 horsepower deals for a great customer of ours, Les Stewart. We were waiting for a long time for a couple of these Canton oil pans, and we actually found them on Amazon and just bought them all because he has so many builds come through us that need that oil pan to fit his chassis. Full vintage air system, the works. Our CNC ported 205 cc Ford heads. Here's another 416 LS3. Currently waiting for Gatorman lifters. Every time I get stock of the lifters, they sell out that week. So I just said, screw it, I'm going to buy 100 sets of them. That should give me some inventory to put on the shelf and enough to support you guys who are looking for them for your hot rods and race cars and street strip vehicles. So once the lifters get here, he'll get a set, and then we're going to put a set of our 11-degree heads on it as well. Let's jump in the dyno room, though. We've got a pretty nice little motor on there. So same deal, another one for Les Stewart. Was waiting on a Canton oil pan. We got it now, Amazon special. This is a pretty nice 600 horse package. So it's running a sequential fuel injection system, Edelbrock Super Victor manifold with a Holley 4-barrel EFI throttle body that has all the sensors it needs built into it. Pretty trick little guy. So we'll run this motor today, and then we'll pull it off, and then the 8 stack will go on immediately after it and get tested and ran as well. As far as shop work goes, I'm the first one here. Let me get the lights going. So we got these new Tecton toolboxes, and so Ben just built these really trick pegboards all around, because we're actually in the process of moving the build room into this room where all the small parts inventory is for our different motor combinations. And then this main room is going to become our prepping, staging, dyno, and shipping area. And then machine row is down that alley. So these boxes are hard mounted together. Ben built a pretty nice steel frame that can be picked up with the forklift. So we got to put the finishing touches on it. I want to clean up some of the burrs and then paint the frame black so it doesn't rust and just kind of looks clean and tidy. And I think we're going to start moving inventory into these boxes and filling this pegboard in the near future. I think this week or next week. So let me go ahead and keep opening up the shop so when the guys get here, it's all ready for them. Power. All right, nothing too new on the machining side. But what we do have new, and that I'm pretty proud about, is we got our own steam vent kit. Finally. So this is our steam vent kit that we're going to add to the website, I think early next week. I'm just waiting on some final product images to come back from editing. And what I really like about this one is the pedestal that bolts to the cylinder head that these lines connect to are on a swivel. So they've got a single O-ring on the bottom, no silly gasket, and then it has its own little receiver cup for it, just like that. And then they can swivel. And you put your bolt straight through there into the cylinder head, and then you can clock this where you need it. Let me show you on this engine, this 441. So that bolt comes through, it bolts that pedestal down, and then your AN line just attaches straight onto it. Super clean. The other kits out there, the pedestal is one piece, and then the fitting that this threads onto is a 90-degree tapered pipe thread adapter that you're supposed to just crank into position and keep your fingers crossed that it doesn't overstretch the threads and break them, or maybe you can't get it, you're just not there and it's too loose and you're always fighting a leak. So we made our own kit that's on an O-ring swivel, so it's always in the exact perfect direction. And then we actually extended this pipe to come out a little bit more. Some of them have them end like way up in here. And speaking from experience, once you've got fuel rails, fuel pressure regulator, harnesses, it's almost impossible to get in there without taking the whole front of the motor off. So we brought it out a little bit further, out by itself, so the water pump will sit about here, and then that line can go straight to your radiator, or you can drill and tap your water pump and drop it straight down. So we put one on the 441. Shay already copped a set and put it on his personal engine. You can see there. And then I'm going to be putting one on my engine at my Corvette this weekend. So keep a lookout on the website. These should be added hopefully early next week. But yeah, actually, I just quickly said that this is Shay's engine. So our main builder who does all of our big Chevy LS and Ford and some of the really high-end small block Chevys. This is his 408 cubic inch LS going into his F-body Camaro. And so I think it's like 11.5 to 1 compression, super healthy cam. Don't quote me, but I think it's like 252, 264, something along those lines. High ram, CNC ported, LSA cylinder heads. Pretty nice combo. We're actually going to do a lot of dyno testing with this engine before he puts it in his car. We're going to swap it to our 11-degree cylinder heads dyno test them back to back versus an aftermarket port job and a factory casting. And then I also want to do a windage tray test and a crank scraper test. And while it's on the dyno, I also want to test push rod thickness. So 80 thou thickness push rod versus 105 or 120, basically the standard versus the heavy duty, and see what that's worth on a motor that will go 74, 7600 RPM. So stay tuned for all that. Subscribe if you're not already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.